Urbanization in China. Jonathan Thomas. Urbanization is the process by which towns and cities are formed and become larger as more and more people begin living and working in central areas, as stated by Merriam-Webster. How urbanization was different in China. Government involvement. As stated by globalization and the urban system in China, the urban system in most countries is influenced by market forces. Cities that produce goods and services that are in demand and attract people to live in them will have faster growth than those that do not. Government generally has little direct influence on the development of the urban system. Before the adoption of the open policy in 1978, the Chinese government played an important role in urban system development. Politics and public policy were the two most important factors in shaping the urban development in China. They exerted a strong influence over the growth of the urban population, urban system development, city system development, and provincial distribution of the urban population. However, the importance of government's role in shaping the urban development has been reduced since the adoption of economic reforms and the open policy in 1978. Historical development. As stated by the historical trend of Chinese urbanization, urbanization in China has a long traditional history during which imperial authority has acted periodically to establish walled cities designed to serve as administrative centers. Such cities became central places for rural areas and, as such, became centers of Chinese settlement in regions previously populated by non-Chinese pastoral or agricultural peoples who did not normally build cities. Urbanization in the 20th century. As stated by Urbanization in China, the developing economies, during the latter half of the 1950s, the government closed the labor market and placed strict controls on the movement of peoples from rural to urban areas. During the next 2 decades, China's citizens lost the freedom to choose and change their occupation and residence. A household registration, or Hoku system, was established in 1954 to stop unauthorized migration from the countryside to the cities and uncontrolled growth of large cities. A migration law in 1958 limited the entry of peasants into cities. The growth of large cities was successfully curtailed, and small towns were developed rapidly. Hoxie Village, also known as Farmers' Village, is emblematic of the beginning of the massive urbanization of China and of the largest human migration in history from the rural areas of China into the cities. Urbanization in the 21st century. The 10 most populated Chinese cities are Shanghai with 20.2 million, Beijing with 16.4 million, Chongqing with 11.3 million, Shenzhen with 10.3 million, Guangzhou with 9.7 million, Tianjin with 9.5 million, Wuha with 7.5 million, Dongguan with 7.2 million, Foshan with 6.7 million, and Chengdu with 6.3 million. Urbanization Plan. As stated by the China Times, the National Development and Reform Commission announced in August that it has approved 8 urban rail transit projects, and another 10 will begin construction by the end of this year. Government figures also show that 36 Chinese cities have been granted urban rail transit construction projects, and by 2020, some 6,000 kilometers of the rail system will be in operation, with a total investment of up to 4 trillion yuan, or 650 billion US dollars. These construction projects, which are supported mainly through the government funding, are an important part of Beijing's urbanization drive, with a total budget of 40 trillion yuan, or 6.5 trillion US dollars, set aside to cover costs over the next 10 years. Urbanization looking forward. According to the projections by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, China will go from having 50.6% urban population in 2011 to a projected 77.3% urban population by 2050.